Well, hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Galactic Astrology podcast. My name is Ursula, and I'm joined today by the podcast co-host, Julia Balaz. And as many of you know, she is the creator and founder of what's called the Quantum Soul Guidance Practitioners course. And Julia and I are so excited to celebrate the certification of our dear Akata Vesta. She's made it through this phenomenal course. So we're here to celebrate. Welcome, ladies, and congratulations, Akata.
Congratulations and welcome. Really well done. I have to say, before we go any further, Akata has been such a dear member of our community of Galactic Astrology enthusiasts. I have, oh my goodness, a real true gift. I am deeply thankful for Akata following her joy and her nudges to create a community where everyone is welcome and where Galactic Astrology enthusiasts can come together on a public page. There is a Facebook group called Galactic Astrology Soul Tribe that is open to the public, to anyone who is curious about the topics of galactic astrology, different star systems, starseed information, and more. And I have to say, from day one, the vibe in that community, just me kind of watching it from the sideline, is very loving, supportive. The amount of information that is shared there is really expansive, beautiful posts. I feel so inspired and just deeply, deeply grateful. Thank you so much for sharing your love, your light, and kind of holding that space so beautifully and professionally too. So just eternally grateful for that.
We have been talking about, hearing about Christ consciousness for so long. And I think it's time for us to be the Christ consciousness ourselves. And I think holding space for everyone to just sharing it openly as showing who we are, and is an important step. And hoping one day that more will join in and don't so mind what they are sharing and just showing who they are. At the end of the day, we are just human beings. We don't need to be perfect.
Yeah. I love the group is infused with a really good cheeky sense of humor too. Yes. So that is just such a nice touch. Yeah, and it's there coming from you and a few others that got on that wagon. It's really, really good. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Well, Akata, this is always fun. Today is May 16th, 2023. So we're on the Earth time plane. And it's fun because, gosh, we're going to look back at your past. And if you would share with us this journey that you've been on, I mean, how did you get here? First of all, you were born in China, living in Florence, Italy, lived in Australia. You speak numerous languages, and we're going to add the galactic language as well. So tell us your story. We want to hear about you and the family that you chose, perhaps, to help support you on this journey.
I think many of us have chosen a hard path in our life so that we get to see certain drama in our 3D world. So we learn to get ourselves prepared, ready. And somehow from my past, growing up in Hong Kong, I was being called to go to Australia for university. My stage of consciousness then wasn't able to understand why I choose Australia as destiny. But I think somehow even our conscious mind doesn't know what we are doing. We still go through this process of understanding, of seeding, in preparing of who we are today. And so Australia has been important steps. Like when I was walking up in Ayers Rock in the northern part in Australia, I didn't know it then, but now if I think back, that was an important moment. There's some point in our life that we just can't forget. And then coming into Italy, after all these years, I finally understand why I'm here for a certain project of manifestation in later stage. And I'm so grateful that the universe has been guiding me every steps. Even this galactic astrology, I have nothing to do with astrology. I start with zero, and yet when I sign up, I knew that was the right place for me. And at a certain point at the beginning of this year, I received this message that I need to go to close this chapter in order to walk the next path, the next step. What it is, I don't know. I still don't know. But I give up in knowing. Just let the universe bring me through, flow with it. And so I saw Julia interview with Pam Gregory, like many of us, and finally I have the confirmation that I have certain connection with the Arcturus. Before it was just my knowing, I couldn't prove it, and now reading my Galactic Astrology chart, there I am, my Arcturus connection, and so there was a valid and important validation, and in believing how the universe bring us through every steps.
So Akata, I am just so impressed that you joined a Galactic Astrology based quantum soul guidance certification program with, as you said, zero astrology. So what I understand now with the energy on the planet, that no more do you need 10, 20 years of study. You start with where you are and you jump in. And when I hear your story, it's like there's no fear. There's just excitement to discover more. So these limiting beliefs, like, I don't know astrology, why would I join? It's up now. And so that, coupled with this idea of the lotus, I want to go to your beautiful brand of becoming lotus, because my mom was also born or lived in Hong Kong. And so this idea of the lotus flower rising from the muck, from the sludge, through the water, and then blossoming. Would you share a little bit about this metaphor? And I see it behind you in this beautiful image of the flowering. Is there something you want to comment? Because I think that that's part of the story of your past, along with the name Akata.
I am very fortunate in certain sense that I get to see some of my past life, either through meditation or astral travel. Akata, as an ET, she came into my dreamland, bring me through a certain traveling into spaceship and seeing who I was or who I will be, I don't know. And she came in a form that later on I can identify as Arcturus and as an Arcturian. And since that moment, that would be at the beginning of 2020, within a month or more, I have that vision of that future project of Vesta Flame Sanctuary. And soon after, I was being called into an esoteric group study. Even there, another area that I start with zero, Ascendant Master. What was it? And in this process was helping me in understanding my connection with the above, behind the veil, how to connect with the Ascended Masters, with Jesus, and with God, with our I am, with my I am. And so when I was writing this, I call it a petition. That is my communication with God, how I would like to bring forward this manifestation of this future project. And I was thinking a title, a name for that. And while I was thinking, and I knew there was some Ascended Master there, and they gave me synchronicity, and Becoming a Lotus become a name for that book, that petition. And ever since then, it has changed the content without changing the essence of the lotus. It's still me, is still who I am. Just before I was doing esoteric, and today I am Galactic Astrologer. Still feel quite embarrassed in saying that. And yeah, but it's just the transformation. Maybe tomorrow I'd be something else, I don't know, but would always be that becoming part of me, of my I am, in knowing more of myself.
Beautiful. It seems to me that you tend to keep surprising yourself as you just allow life guide you. You show up as best as you can. And then, my goodness, I feel with you, especially in connection to other people, whether it's a community or individuals, when you worked with your clients, that's the moment when some key is turned inside you and you open up as a channel. I mean, looking at your chart, if I may share some of the alignments, you have that perfect combination that I always see with people who have been touched by the stories of the Ascended Masters. You have the Sirius A tightly conjunct, you have the Arcturus conjunct, you have the supergalactic center, and a few other really strong, tight conjunct alignments. So to me, it's just another story where this is when these stars are combined together in one chart, the connection through life synchronicities leading to Ascended Masters stories is present again. You have a very strong, powerful stellium in Libra going through your 12th and first house. That's where your supergalactic center is conjunct very tightly on the ascendant. And so it's all about finding balance and harmony in relationship with self and others. And then interestingly, your lunar nodes, kind of the path of the soul across many lifetimes, is perfectly opposing each other through archetypes. So your north node is in Pisces, south node in Virgo, and your north node at the same time is in the 6th house, which is ruled or associated with Virgo, and south node in 12th house. So they actually sit in each other's houses. So just another piece of the puzzle telling you that, yes, you are here to integrate polar opposites of different archetypes and restoring balance, harmony in any life experience that universe presents to you. Do you find that to be kind of your theme?
Well, it's a long way of learning, of letting go. And I think since 2020, I have struggled so much in my life. It's just lessons after lessons saying, either you let yourself be led by the universe, balance things out, the polarity, duality in our life, or there will be more struggle. What do you do? And of letting go, of not putting myself into certain boxes, certain categories, and in that also meaning accepting, embracing everyone of who they are. I'm still learning, still trying.
I love this idea of you creating the name with your future or quantum self. When you said the word Akata, or the name, the nom, Akata, it reminded me of Lisa Royal Holt. Her books are being channeled by her future self, Sasha. So I bet when you learned that, there was this kind of, oh yeah, me too. And so I'm sharing that because anyone listening, if you feel inspired too, we can each attune to our future, past, present selves to bring forward the best and highest good, especially when you're called to devoted service through the healing work, such as what we're doing here as quantum soul guidance practitioners. And that word quantum is always a fascinating one because it means it's off the 3D and 4D timeline when we go quantum. So thank you, Akata, for sharing your past. And that word becoming, it speaks to this, I'm in process. I'm always in process. So there's nothing static. There's nothing labeled. There's no box that you necessarily agree to fit in for too long before the becoming invites you to the next level. So again, anyone listening, if you've not studied astrology, but you're being moved toward the galactic, and you want to learn more for yourself and your family and loved ones, consider looking at the Galactic 101 astrology course that Julia provides online as perhaps a beginning place, or just even watching all the YouTubes as Akata has mentioned. So it's fascinating to see this journey. Julia, did you want to add something here?
I'm just looking at her chart to see what will show me that she is a fast learner, because if I didn't know that you kind of just started with astrology, like when I saw your certification reports, your clients' documents, you've put plenty of astrology there, and it was solid. It was like right there, was practical. You really learn fast, don't you?
This first, I have to thank you, Ursula. When she was doing a reading for me, I think she has pushed certain button. I think none of us in this course is first time astrology. We have been many lifetimes. We are just recalling what we know. Since I have this easiness in connecting myself with the higher, with my I am, and with the higher self of my clients, let them guide me what I need to look in their chart. I mean, in every birth chart, there are thousands of details, there are thousands of aspects. Does our client need to know all these, or they only need to know certain important points to help them going to the next steps? And because with my clients, before I start, I always send them a set of questions. And for them, those questions is already a step asking them to look within, knowing why they are coming to me, what they really need me to tell them in order to move forward. And could be our childhood, could be some special event in their life. Like I have clients that have clear memories of the awakening moment, ET abduction, and looking at the chart with explanation, it gives them the sense of that is what I need to know, so I can settle down and move forward. And all this is not from me; it's from their higher self. They know better than me. I just giving technical support. Technically, I am a newbie. I trust the universe when certain clients come to me or come to us, because we have something that is special for them that we can share. And knowing we are guided doesn't matter of the knowledge, it will come with time, will be better.
I love that. I think this is such an important element of quantum soul guidance process. You're describing it so beautifully through your own experience, where we have to acknowledge what we can or cannot do. But I think the biggest key here is the moment of surrender and allowing the connection with through the higher self of you and your client, and let that higher multidimensional aspect of our being provide what's most relevant in terms of the words, but also frequency and care, because you give so much of your energy, or all the practitioners, into the readings. So just that surrender, showing up, allowing, and the magic happens.
In the present moment, this is Akata's beautiful website called becominglotus.org. So Akata, I just love how you've positioned this. Let me scroll down. From your birth details, we are going to make a deep dive into your galactic interdimensional star connections. So this is where you can find Akata's landing page and read about how she offers a very particular flavor, what she brings forward. And I'm going to echo what Julia found as well with that recipe of conjunctions, strong conjunctions to Sirius A, Arcturus, the super galactic center, all moving towards this idea of tapping into the ascended masters. And what is that? This is a high level frequency of wisdom wisdom that if you want it, it's available. And here we see that Orion Arcturus connection. If you are searching for home and you feel drawn to Akata, here is how you can find her. Any other comments, ladies, about you play with some very profound symbolism of archetype, becoming Lotus, the Vesta flame sanctuary. Even the words you choose speak to this higher level of vibration. Again, ascended mastery, which is not the next guru. It's really kind of a beckoning that if it feels right, you too can step into becoming Lotus. Now, I just want to add one more thing because I could just keep talking, but the I Ching, Akata, it's no accident that you just love this foundation of the very ancient system of the I Ching. So if anyone's listening, do you see how we're playing with really big pillars here, that we're not stuck on what is the definition of an astrologer, Western, Vedic, galactic. It's not that. It's much more about quantum soul guidance that I think we're tapping into in this conversation. So I'm going to pause for a minute. Any thought you want to say about the I Ching, Akata? Because that's they're telling me to bring that into the conversation.
The I Ching was one of the past life that I saw myself, that when it was written, I was there. I wasn't a scholar to do the actual writing. And I saw myself as a tiny little boy, part of the royal household, not important enough to have myself killed. But I was being protected under the wings of Lord Joe. As an Ascendant master, he is Lord Lento. So I was there doing the transcribing. And I think many of us has this life of transcribe with the Isis as motherliness, as sins. And somehow I think even the fact that I was born in China and then went and come to Hong Kong and learn the traditional Chinese writing, there is a meaning of it. Might become a new type. I don't know. I'm still investigating, in waiting for the next find what I need to do with all this. But I know that I am studying it one at a time, one I Ching at a time, until I integrate it into something that is of my own, either through poetry or contemplation. So it will take me a lifetime to finish 64 pieces.
What I've been noticing with people who seem to have that strong connection with the Ascended Masters, and there are so many who transcended duality and the physicality, the confusion of it all, and kind of arrived into supreme clarity, right? And allowing divine to work through them with such a strong connection that is felt. For people that may be drawn to you, I presume it's easy, especially if you surrender into that moment of service as a guide to clients, it's easy for you to recognize the ascended master level of each individual, right? Because that is the beauty of creation, and the fact that we are becoming aware of our multidimensionality and past, present, and future. The fact that we can now recognize that there is an aspect of our being that is at the level of ascension, where we transcend confusion and arrive to that clarity moment. So it may be very activating and healing for someone to be in the presence of a person that can recognize that level, and it kind of then draws it into your life experience. And certainly then seeing it also in a chart written, the galactic astrology, the galactic connections there can be very, very healing and propelling us on a journey towards greater alignment with source.
Well, I think each client is not so much that what we can do to assist them. That is both way. They themselves are helping us to understand more of ourselves and doing better in I don't want to call it a job. It's not a job. I try not to put to a fixed system when I'm doing reading with my client. Just let them guide me what the modality, how I can present it. And with this, I want to make a shout out to the genius mind behind Galactic Astrology program, to Hector. And when he came to me, I was in total panic. What can I ever tell him? And but then yes, just before I start the session, and this voice say, just bring him to do some travel. And that's how I start to bring my clients, when it's possible, to do this intergalactic travel ourselves during meditation. So instead of reading or watching, come within us and go back to the great silence, to know where we come from. And each time when I do that is a new journey for me too. Thank you, Hector, for that, and many other clients. Really, each of them teach me something more.
I have to say, Hector did sing great praise to me about his experience with you. He felt drawn to your energy, so he booked a session. And just for anyone who missed what you mentioned, so you take time to, as portion of your Quantum Soul Guidance sessions, you take your client on a journey within and to connect to the most appropriate place, whether it's galactic or is there a focus on the galactic connection or just most relevant place, and it could be anywhere?
No, I usually look at the chart, knowing where the soul origin come from. So we go back
Nice.
To the first place, and then we do the journey backward. Like with Hector, we went to Orion. We went through the Orion Christ story, some other fixed stars, and then we come back here to ancient Egypt, to the Essenes. So before they know anything, before they hear anything from me, they get to feel their journey themselves, and just the confirmation of what I have written for them. And that is wonderful. Yeah.
Well, thank you for following your guidance in the moment, because it was just kind of surprise, right? Inspiration. And well done. I love it. So grateful.
Really, I could listen to you talk about the channeling or the experiences that come in or what you're hearing. So for me, just trying to listen with a different ear as well. If you're listening to this podcast and you think you may have channeled before, or you're not sure how, and you've never studied astrology, I'm just going to tell you there is a place at the table for you in this beautiful architecture that Julia has created. And Hector was one of Julia's students, who then felt inspired and brought forward the calculator by learning code and setting this whole calculator up so we don't have to do our own mathematical equations. And so when Akata said she did a session for Hector, what this indicates is that we really do become family by joining a course. It's not just the material you'll learn. It's not just the affirmation of what you thought you may have come from, or what, energies or stars that you feel connected to. It's so expansive, and it's almost like a living architecture, because as new people like you come into the group, everything gets magnified and we share that which we bring with us. So there's room for authenticity, for mastery, for sovereignty. And when I hear Akata talk about her story and where she wants to go with these sessions, I sense that, wow, I'm already inspired to allow myself to think more broadly and feel more broadly and to attune to the higher wisdom that's available if I choose to open the door. So I just want to thank you both. This has been extraordinary just to listen in on.
Before we close, I just want to highlight the different languages because they are very unique that you, Akata, speak. Can you let us know, can you tell us what are the languages that you offer quantum soul guidance sessions in?
Well, so far I only have clients that ask for English. and I offer also in Italian, that I have been living in Italy for how long? Too long, maybe. From Hong Kong, I also do report in Chinese, traditional Chinese, and the simplified Chinese. In terms of spoken Chinese, is in Cantonese. That is what we speak in Hong Kong, and Mandarin. So in Mandarin, I would expect a little bit discount as
but still
as performance.
But still, if no one else is available, people will grab that opportunity, and it'll be a gift, So really well done. Thank you. And in terms of the style of your session, so we talked about that. So is it mainly Zooms? Do you also do written reports separately? What is the structure or style that you?
Well, I have different formats that client can choose from, and they can choose only the written report or the deep dive. When it's deep dive, I do the written report and at Zoom one-to-one session. And I think at the end of the day, that is what benefits best for our clients, that with this connection, that exchange of energy, the most part of Galactic Astrology, quantum healing, But they have modalities to choose from.
Well, congratulations once again. May you be blessed with many more magical, synchronistic connections with amazing people. Thank you very much for sharing your light with our community, your love, your care, and I look forward to staying connected.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Akata. See you soon.
See you next
Thank
time.
you.